Hey there, Board Gamers, Just here and Paint here, and today I want to talk a little bit about Southern Assault. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. If you are new here, please alpha strike that like and subscribe button. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for having my back. I appreciate you having my six. Thanks for being an awesome lance mate, star mate, whatever the case may be for you. Appreciate you being here to support what I do. That's it. I want to put up a video today and ramble a little bit about Southern Assault 3 2023, hosted by Fortress Missions and Games, Mr. Bobby Ash himself. I initially was going to have the camera pointed at me, but I didn't get to bring one home from work, and I only have the one up here at home. And it's a pain in the butt to take down and put back up. Actually, it's not the hardest thing to take down and put back up. The problem is I have to reconfigure it for painting if I want to record, and I have the settings dialed in, so like my hands and the colors and all the things, they look right, so I don't want to have to take it down. So as the channel grows and we get more cameras and equipment, we'll be able to do more stuff and won't have to borrow things from work all the time. So that's it. If you want to tune in and listen to more of what we got today, it may be more of a ramble versus anything visual, but if you like seeing my hands move, that's okay too. This past weekend, I participated in Southern Assault 3 from Fortress Miniatures and Games, my third year in a row. So first year I won Best Painted, second year I got Best Hobbyist, this year I got second place on painting. So that was the thing that I was going for, and I got some ideas on things to improve and things I want to do next year. Dustin from Mech Bay Podcast got first place this year and last year. Some pretty cool freehand stuff that he's doing, so pretty nice. Beyond that, I wanted to get some photos of all the painted stuff, but we were so busy because I was attending there as a definitely not Jade Falcon cyber moron. I'll try and remember to throw a photo up here if I can. But yeah, I was wearing crazy like rocker blonde long hair kind of stuff, wig, green bandana, ridiculous shades. They weren't pit vipers because I couldn't afford them, but something like a pit viper. I had a chest rig with patches on. I had like a little combat belt on with candy in the pouch and stuff like that. So that was really funny to play with people. And Bobby and his list checker, Dave Alsiger, approved my trolley list to play with. Technically was not within the normal rule confines of the event, but they approved it, and that allowed me to issue challenges for the event. So every match I played, Malvina Hazen, which let me play with, this is one of the things I had to approve because it's the named variant. I personally don't think she's all that OP, if at all. There's another version of the Shrike that is probably more competitive than this one, but I wanted to use the fluffy one. She's also only skill 3. If she was more fluffy, she probably should be more like a skill 1, because she's the con of Jade Falcon in the Ill Clan era. But this is the breaks. 2 was the cap, or the floor, for skills, and I just couldn't make the points work to make it actually work. So, but what I did was, at the beginning of every game, I would challenge my opponents to an honor duel, and if they accepted, it was one-on-one, Malvina and them. They're the only models that could attack each other until until one of them died. So that was a lot of fun. It disrupted some of the scenario play, and I let them know that this was going to happen, give them benefit of the doubts, and then because my list was technically not legal and they approved it anyway, I gave everyone the edge. So if I won, we would round it to where they won 51-49, and if they won outright, then I would, they just got their points as normal. Only we lost one technically, and the other ones were draws or rounded victories for them. I think I would have finished the event probably 4-1-1 or 4-1-2 maybe. Or excuse me, 3-1-2. It might have been like 2 draws, or close to it. But they were all really good games. I still placed 24th, even though I was trolling. And yeah, so anyone who accepted the challenge, they got a widget and some tokens as a gift. And then at the end of the game, I gave them a clan pack of an unreleased vehicle unit that DRD is getting ready to drop at the end of the month. So definitely not proxies for Hetzers and a new VTOL and an artillery piece. So that was pretty cool. Everyone was a good sport. I got to play several people from Nova that participated in my event. They got to play against me, which was really cool. And then I think his name was Michael Bryant. I forget which round I played him in, but his son was doodling while we were playing, and I was like, I'm not trying to be insulting when he showed me the doodle. I was like, but I'm going to guess what this is, and if I guess wrong, don't be offended. And I said, but is this Indiana Jones? And he goes, yeah, it's Indiana Jones. He had the reference image up on his phone. I was like, cool, I guessed it right. This looks really good. That's what it looked like. So when we got our prizes on Sunday, the best painted stuff, we all got like paints and stuff from Army Painter, and I got a wet palette and a box of paints. And I immediately walked through the line for the prizes, walked over to my seat, sat everything down but the paints, walked over to Michael and his kid, and I looked down at his kid and I said, hey, if I give you this, you have to agree to paint models with your dad. Because his dad was telling me his son has not embraced or shown interest in painting minis yet. And I thought, if I gave him these things, maybe, just maybe, it'll spur a little bit of interest. And if it doesn't, you know, so be it. But if it does, I might have helped plant that seed that might grow and blossom into an awesome hobby for someone. And I think that's incredible. So I immediately gave that away. That was pretty cool. I'll see if I can get a photo up. He agreed to let his son take a photo with me at the show for social media. So he does know that that's out there. While I was at Southern Salt, I also got a couple of free cool things that people gave me. Namely, I got a dice tray from, I think his name was Michael. Sorry if I got your name wrong. A dude I met, I think he said he was an Army vet, watches my channel. Apparently we're friends on Facebook and I didn't know when he came up to talk to me. But he gave me a dice tray for Wolves Dragoons, which was baller because that's one of my primary forces, loves Wolves Dragoons. My next painted army that I work on from scratch is probably going to be some more Wolves Dragoons. But Suge, Eric, Mr. Berg, from Discord, came up to me and he met me there. He didn't come play, but he did come to the event to see me, and he gave me this. This pin wasn't there. I stuck it on here because I needed to get the little frogs off the back of it. But he brought me this, and I wanted to show you on the channel because he brought me a gift, and I thought that was super duper neat. So we got ourselves a little mech bro here, and he brought the card. It is Natasha Kerensky and her Dire Wolf. So he brought that. He painted the legendary one, which is pretty awesome, and it looks really, really good. I asked him. I was like, "Did you take photos?" Because like I've been trying to encourage him to try and go through the CSO path, and I don't know if he took photos of this one. I know he didn't do decals on it, which I have and could do, but I'm not going to. I don't like modifying people's models. That they give me. So he does have the hourglass on the bottom of it for Natasha Kerensky, and it's this beautiful matte black, and I love it. I'm assuming he's using the probably ultra matte varnish from AK Interactive. Good stuff. We got the scorched barrels here. The canopy is absolutely lovely and just a super nice model. The very same guy who gave me the dice tray, Eric, gave him a painted Beta Galaxy Timberwolf, which I was a little jelly because Beta Galaxy is best galaxy, right? Gotta give the trolls. But yeah, it was super nice. Super cool to have gotten a free mini, one that someone painted for me, which is also really nice. But the fact that it's the legendary variant too is just super cool. So this will get rolled into and put in probably with my Wolves Dragoons, along with this guy that I got from Faith and Heresy from CSO. He sent me this. I should have the video going up of the little unboxing that at some point. If it's not up already, that'll go with my Cretans. But it's always cool to roll in some models from viewers and friends into my forces. And this was one that he gave me, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And Eric, thank you. If you're watching this, Mr. Berg, thank you. Hopefully you'll get to see me use it at some point. Probably try and find a reason to put it into a YouTube video. Pew pew. That'd be pretty cool. What else did we do? I am going to talk about my list. I'm going to do a separate video for that as more of a breakdown. I'll also talk more about tactics and stuff too. I've got a little notepad here. In that video, we're going to talk about overheating and list building and things that we did. We won't talk about that in this one. We'll talk about the scenarios a little bit. Let's see. Let me see if I can remember. Game 1. I think that was the one where it was like a kill mission, kill models. I think it was based on like tonnage killed or something like that. So I think game 1 was like a kill mission. So let's just say kill points. Game 2, I think that was the 3 objectives. And they were like in the center of the table, so you had like a map. You know, if this is the center line, it was 1, 2, 3. That's really awful, but like that's kind of how it was. I think mission 3 might have been. I don't think it was breakthrough. It might have been breakthrough. I might have the order mixed up on them, but let's just go with breakthrough. So with this one, I can't spell. Sorry, guys. with your deployment, you had the halfway mark, and you got points for being on your opponent's side of the table, right? That's where you wanted to be, and they wanted to be on your side of the table, and whatever was at the end, you got points for that. Then they had 5 objectives, and in this one I played against, and they were like this on the map. And on this one I played against, forget his first name, it was a J, last name Hammer, and that was really good because I got to give some coaching during that one. That was really fun. The breakthrough one, my opponent basically did a big clockwise maneuver where I ended up with almost my whole force in his deployment. He was almost in mine. I said, hey, do you want to agree to just play this game? You're going to get the victory anyway because of, the way my list is, and I'm giving everyone the edge. I said, but do you want to meet in the middle and just start fighting? I was like, tactics dictate that if we get points based on what's alive in our opponent's zone, so there's no incentive for us to risk getting killed, because if we get killed, now your opponent's got more models in your zone than you have in theirs, and they're going to win. I said, you're going to win anyway. I'm going to give you the win. Do you want to just say, forget the objective for now and just play? And that's what we did. We met in the middle and started blowing stuff up. He also accepted the duel with Malvina Hazen with a direwolf, which was pretty cool. They chased each other down, and it was mutual destruction. Every game, Malvina Hazen had mutual destruction, I think, except for one. So I walked up and beat up on this Mad Dog pretty good. That might have been the game with Hammer. I got to play Justin King there. That was cool. I met him at KarinskyCon. He's a cool guy. He brought me a bottle of whiskey, which was pretty cool. Game 5. Which one am I missing here? I remember. Oh god. Okay, yeah. So game 5. So this one was with the gates. So it was like a mosh pit in the center, and you had these like gates around it, so kind of like something like this. And you would roll for each one of the gates, and if you rolled 1, 2, or 3, they were offline. If you rolled 4, 5, 6, they were online and block line of sight and were infinitely tall, so you couldn't fly over them. And starting on turn 3, you got points for every model you had in the middle, so it was a big mosh pit. He adjusted that one a little bit. It was probably... This one wasn't too bad this year. Breakthrough was probably my least favorite, mostly because you get points based on what's on your opponent's side of the table, and the incentive is for you both to get on each other's side of the table and have equal to the number of models your opponent has on your side, so that you're at a dead even tie. And if you can kill one of the models and have more on their side, then you're going to win. That's the way it works, because you'll get more points per unit. So it encourages gameplay of getting a real easy kill and running away and hiding, and I don't like that. So this is the weakest scenario for me. He dropped the basically capture the flag mission from 2021 and 2022, which was like a objective in the center of the table, and you had to base it, and then you had to take no actions, period, for a full turn, which meant no TMM. Everyone who got that objective was already winning because they killed all their opponent's models and picked it up. Anyone who was playing the game that tried to pick it up lost their models. Me and Samir played that either 2021 or 2022, and it was just a big slog fest when I played against him. So, and then Mission 6, I'm going to say is my favorite for a little bit of a bias, because it was a modified version of Karnov Down, and Bobby had 2 VTOLs here, and then he had 1, 2 infantry, and you'd hold the VTOLs like normal, and you'd grab the infantry like I did for my objectives, where you base the infantry, and if nothing else is based with them, no opposing models are based with them at the end of the turn. If you forewent your shooting or melee or spotting or whatever, you took no other action other than a movement or a jump. You couldn't sprint. You had to be a movement or jump. Then you could pick it up, which meant you kept your TMM, which meant you had survivability for a turn trying to pick it up, but you did have to trade either shooting, spotting, or attacking, period, or picking it up. So there's a little bit of trade-off, and that was really cool. Had a lot of fun with this objective. He modified it a little bit, which was nice, and I think at Nova next year I'm probably going to do 3 infantry per downed VTOL versus 4, which is what I did. He had 4. I think 4 was a little too few. When I did it, I had 8 last year, or this past Nova. I think split in the middle and going for 6 is a good one to try. So that was the 6 scenarios that we played. There's bonus objectives during each one. And yeah, so I had a good time with these. I'm a pretty tactical kind of player, strategic, so I kind of have a pretty good idea how I want to analyze how things go. And last year, my least favorite was probably this Hex Barricade one, and this year wasn't so bad. So yeah, price support wise, I got a pretty cool print signed from Eldon. He does a lot of art for CGL. I gave it to Joe. Shout out to my boy Joe. It was a Kurita hunchback and kind of propaganda poster kind of thing. Looked really cool, so I gave it to him because he's a nice guy. And believe it or not, me and Joe are friends. I got a DRD mini that I gave to Michael's kid, the guy I was trying to get to paint. I gave that away. I got a few other swag things. I got some more hex roads from Battletech, because I think that set, I think having 2 sets of roads is good, so I picked up that with my prize. But otherwise, I really wasn't there for the prize support. I was there just to have a good time, and to make sure my opponents had a good time. So in past years at Nova, I've placed pretty good. I think one year I even placed like 6th. I think this year, if I had played more seriously, I probably still would have placed maybe top 10, and maybe a little I say higher, maybe not quite 10, maybe like top 20, but probably I feel pretty good about thinking I might have been 10. But it's possible that it wouldn't have happened. Just based on previous years' rankings and how I've done, I feel like I could do that. But I knew this year going in, I don't want to focus too much on winning. Like you want to win when you play. You sit down, you roll dice, you want to win, right? That's the way the game works. But I get amped up, you get stressed, you get that that tenseness that you get when you're trying to win. And for a 2-day event where you have day 1, you have 4 games at 2 hours apiece, that's 8 hours. Plus I had 2 hours round trip drive to get there and back. That's 10 hours. Plus the in-between rounds and the hour lunch break. So I was probably going for like 15 hours straight, right? And if you subtract the 1 hour drive home, 14 hours straight, it's a lot. And you still got to get up early the next day and come back and play the 2 more games, and then do the prize support and so forth. So I feel like shifting my focus from just winning to play the mission and try and win. Don't be a pushover for your opponent, but try and find those micro objectives to have a good time made me have a better experience. So yeah, could I have placed higher? Sure. My focus was on painting, making people have a good time. That's what I'm there for, and that was fun for me. But I left on Sunday feeling a lot less stressed, so to speak. In previous years, there's a big stress release on Sunday when it's all over and you don't realize how tense you've been for 2 days. And that's where I'm at. I don't want the gameplay to be so stressful, even if I don't realize it at the time, that it's grinding me down. That's not good for anybody. So I went into Southern Assault 2023 knowing A, I'm competing for painting, and B, when it comes to gameplay stuff, I'm here to make sure someone else has a good time, because it may be the first game they've ever won, maybe their first tournament. I want to make sure that if they get paired with me, their experience is a positive one, right? And everyone I played with was really cool. Game 1, I had to play Neil from DRD, which was funny, and we had just played a demo game, and he's already saw my list, so he knew it was coming. So that was really funny, and Bobby offered to switch the pairing. I was like, don't worry about it, I'll play him, it's fine. It's Neil, we'll play it, it's cool. But other than that, I played with people that I had not played with before. That was really cool. Craig Lighton was there. He took 3rd best general, I think. He also placed pretty high at Nova. And then the guy who placed 2nd best general, I think, I forget his name, I'm sorry, but if you're watching this, he also placed, I think, 2nd at my event as well. There was a lot of people at Nova, or at Southern Assault 3 that were at Nova. And I suspect a lot of them will be at Nova again, and then they'll probably come to Southern Assault 4. So if you're on the fence, you should come to Nova. Nova is very casual. I run it. I make sure that my goal with that is to make sure people have a good time, and it's low stress. Bobby's event's not that much different. It's a bit more structured, and I feel like a little bit more tournament-centric on that side, but it's not that bad. I think anyone who's on the fence and worried about it, you should give it a shot and try it out. And if you're new, I've told people this too, or told a guy this too on social media. He was worried about going, and one of the things he mentioned was not knowing the rules very well. He was new, and I was like, hey, if you tell Bobby going in you've never played, ask him for a favorable turn or game 1 pairing. Ask him if he'll pair you with me. And while we play, I will coach you and teach you as we go, because if you take nothing else away from this event, I want you to take an experience of, I learned something, this guy was teaching me, he wasn't an asshole, and I had fun with this game, and I want to come back and play again. And I feel like you're not going to get that experience if you don't actually try to play. So being open-minded to saying, hey, I'm not super worried about the winning right now, I'm super worried about getting you into the game, because then I have inadvertently drug you into this hobby, into this universe, and then it might be something that you start to fall in love with. So that's my goal, and I challenge you guys, if you're on the fence about tournaments, try mine at Nova, try Bobby's at Southern Assault 2024 next year. And if you are an existing player or even a new player, consider what your goals and objectives are when you go into a tournament. What is it you want to achieve? Is it just the winning? And if that is the case, I challenge you to go into it with higher expectations of yourself, not just winning, how can you make sure you have a fun social experience while playing as well? And that means having a good time with the opponent. It means socializing with them, talking to them about the game state, talking about strategies and tricks, and be like, hey, I'm going to do this combo right here. Have you seen this before? Like, and ask them questions. And that's one of the things I like to do is walk through, remind people of stuff, help them out. And if I lose, I want to lose because that person had a good game. And if I win because I had a good game, I don't want to win because someone didn't know the rules or I got them with a gotcha. That's not fun for anybody. So I challenge you to look at the games and look for something more than just the W. That said, I think that probably concludes most of my experience with Southern Assault. I had a good time. There's a lot of people there this year. We had, I think, 80. I think Bobby had 90 sign up, but 10 people basically had to back out or no-showed, which is unfortunate, but, it's still a step up from the previous year. I'd love to see Southern Assault hit like 100, 120 people this coming year. So if you were on the fence and didn't show up, you should. If you want to get an opportunity to meet me, I'm most likely going to be there. And if you want to play, there's 6 rounds. There might be a chance. So that said, I think in our next video, I will go over my list and what I played and some strategies and so forth from Southern Assault that I noticed, and I'll give you guys a breakdown of that. So thank you guys for hanging out. As always, keep painting your models, keep rolling your dice, and I will catch you guys next time. If you made it this far, you're probably a viewer that already hits that like button when you see a video come up. You're probably already a subscriber, and you probably jump into the comments down below to help support the channel, to help support that algorithm. But if you're looking for some other ways to help support the channel too, make sure you check the description down below. Maybe you want to pick up some paints from Monument Hobbies. That's my paint of choice. The Pro Acrylic line is chef's kiss, good stuff. Maybe you want to check out some of the offerings from Death Row Designs, where I work in my day job. We got plenty of 3D printed products, as well as MDF terrain, some of the stuff that I have designed myself and we play with here on the channel. And if you're looking to bolster your Battletech ranks, miniatures, and offerings, make sure you check out Bobby from Fortress Miniatures and Games. He's one of the main supporters of the channel as well, and supporting any of these companies helps support what I do and helps to ensure that I can continue to bring content to all of you. If you want to become a super supporter, I highly recommend you guys check out the Patreon. You guys give that extra little edge to help push more content out, and I really do appreciate that. And my ultimate goal on the channel is to continue to be able to not only put out the content we have now, but to get to a point where you can put out more content later, whether that be battle reports or painting tutorials or just more rambles, anything at all. I'd like to be doing more content for you. This is something that I enjoy. I like being able to cast a light into the darkness to bring a little bit of hobby positivity to all of you and make you feel good, and also enjoy playing games myself. As we do the final sign off here though, I do want to go ahead and switch on over and do the scroll of awesome to showcase all the Patreon supporters, the super supporters of the channel, to give them some recognition for helping support what I do. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time.